Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. I welcome all of you to today's daily quiz session with us. And before we can start, a quick reminder. In case you are looking for expert guidance for the upcoming UPSC CSE exam, then now look no more. All you need to do is to fill up a Google form that has been attached in the description box of this video. How will it help you? Because once we get your details, we will get in touch with you immediately and arrange a one-on-one counseling session only for you from our experts. And before we start looking at today's questions, here's a quick reminder to not miss out on today's budget analysis that starts sharp at 7 p.m. on our channel, BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. It is a continuation of yesterday's series which covers 360 degrees the Union Budget, a critical topic for the upcoming UPSC exam. So now let's move with the first question on the screen, and the question talks about Navy, naval submarines. We are talking about INS Kalavari. Before that, let me quickly give you the context. Why has this question been taken up for analysis? The reason is a news from the Hindu which says that Defence Minister Shri Rajnath Singh has commissioned INS Sandhyak in Visakhapatnam. The purpose is to further boost India's naval strength. And now to the question. The first statement says INS Kalavari is an indigenously, which means it is Indian-made, India-made submarine. That's a valid statement. It is absolutely true because INS Kalavari translates into deep sea. In fact, it's taken from a Malayali word. It means deep sea tiger shark. It is critical because it is also the first Scorpion class submarine to be made in India. Let's remember its motto. It says ever onward. Now, coming to the second statement. This says regarding INS Kalavari that INS Kalavari is first conventional submarine to be inducted into Indian Navy. That's correct. Post the introduction of INS Sindhurasthtra, which was procured from Russia back in 2000, and this statement is also absolutely valid regarding INS Kalavari. But let's analyze the third statement. It says SiMBEX is an annual naval bilateral exercise that takes place between India and Japan. Well, this question is it is out of question because SiMBEX is not a naval exercise that happens between India and Japan. In fact, it is an annual naval exercise that takes place between India and Singapore. It is known as Singapore-India Maritime Bilateral Exercise. Let's remember that it was initiated back in 1994. In fact, the earlier name of this exercise was Lion King, which means that the third statement here is not valid. And we can say that just the 1 and 2 statements are correct, making C the right answer. And on this note, let's quickly go to the second question, which talks about India's highest civilian honor, Bharat Ratna. Why is this question suddenly so important? The reason is, once again, a news in the Hindu which says that Honorable Indian Prime Minister has announced that Shri L.K. Advani will be the recipient of Bharat Ratna. Now this comes amid a huge furore about the decision from the opposition parties and from some rival factions as well. But indeed, Shri L.K. Advani was honoured, and the decision was made clear that given his exemplary contributions in Indian politics, he will be the next recipient of this coveted award. And in this regard, we picked up this question for you. The first statement talks about how Sachin Tendulkar was the first sports person to have received India's highest civilian honour, Bharat Ratna. Is that correct? Absolutely correct, because at the young age of 40, in fact, he became the youngest and the first sports person to have been conferred with the Bharat Ratna. Let's talk about the second statement. It says this award was originally given for achievement in the fields of art, literature, science and public services. That is, After it was conceived back in 1954, it was given in these limited areas. But then in 2011, things changed and rules were changed to further include any outstanding contribution in any field of human effort, endeavor. So yes, the second statement is also valid regarding Bharat Ratna. And there's one more quick, crisp bite that I can give you here, that it was Sri M.S. Subbulakshmi who became the first musician to be awarded with the Bharat Ratna. In fact, when we talk about Sri M.S. Subbulakshmi, the doyen of Indian classical Carnatic genre of music, she was also the first musician from India to have received the prestigious Raymond Magsaysay Award, which is often dubbed as Nobel Prize of Asia. So we can say that yes, both the statements are valid and the correct answer is C. Now let's quickly see the third question on our screen. This is in context of UNICEF, United Nations Children Fund. Let's see why has this question been taken up. The question is picked up because of a news that says that UNICEF has reported that nearly all children in Gaza Strip, an area completely devastated, dehumanized in the face of Israel-Palestine ongoing war, all children in this area, they need mental health support, because every day there are newses which claim that majority of children in the area are experiencing disabilities. They are experiencing amputations because they have been living in the war-torn area, characterized right now by food shortage, a lack of medical supply, absolutely a lack of any nutritional or medical need that is being satisfied. And in this wake of their human right violations, we have taken the question from UNICEF itself. The first statement of this question says, United Nations Children Fund. It focuses on developing community-level services to achieve the larger goal of children's welfare around the world and development. That is a valid statement because that's the purpose of UNICEF to begin with, a critical agency of the UN that looks after child rights. Now to the second statement. It says that back in 1965, UNICEF was endowed, it was conferred with the Nobel Peace Prize. Yes, that is also a correct statement. Once again, we have C as the right answer because both the above statements are absolutely valid. Now to the fourth question of today, and the question is about geopolitics. Why has the question been picked up? The question is coming, you might guess, in the wake of the stress that's going on in India-Maldivian relationship. Now, yesterday we got to know that India has majorly cut on the funds that are allocated by India to its neighbors in the light of neighbor first policy. Yesterday we saw how India has given a major segment of foreign aid to Bhutan. And it was crimped, what? The aid to Maldives because of the ongoing geopolitical tensions between the two nations. And in this light today, the newspaper says that India will also replace its military personnel in Maldives by 10th of May. That's in a couple of months. And Pakistan instead is offering to help Maldives. And in this regard, let's look at today's question. It's a very straightforward question. It says the 8th degree channel separates which of the following? The first option is India and Sri Lanka. The second is Minicoy and Maldives. The third or the C option says Andaman and Nicobar Island. And the last D says Indira Point from Indonesia. It's a very easy guess indeed. It is Minicoy and Maldives because it is in the news right now. And we know that Minicoy, which is often also referred to as Maliku, it is an island in Lakshadweep. Let's also remember, when we talk about Indira Point, this is the southernmost point of India, situated in the Campbell Bay in the Nicobar Island. So here absolutely B is the valid point, and this channel separates Minicoy in Lakshadweep from Maldives. Let me quickly now take you to today's PYQ that's coming to you from 2016. The question says, there is a term which is rampantly used when we talk about nations, various countries, and how well are they fulfilling commitment towards Let's see the question. The term intended nationally determined contributions, which are often abbreviated as the NDCs, is sometimes seen in the news. In the context of what? Which means, what are these NDCs? Option A says NDCs are the pledges that were made by European countries to rehabilitate refugees coming from war-affected Middle Eastern areas. Option B says it was a plan of action which was created by countries of the world to combat, that is to reduce, to fight their climate changes, the climate changes that are going on. C, capital contributed by the member countries in the establishment of Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, the AIIB. D says the plan of action outlined by countries of the by various countries across the globe to cut down or their problems and to try to achieve the 17 goals set up by United Nations, that is the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So which of these options is correct? Naturally here, B will become the right answer, because whenever we talk about NDCs, we are trying to refer to commitments made by different countries. Countries who have agreed to the decisions made under Paris Agreement. In fact, according to this, each country has to reduce its total greenhouse gas emission, which means it has to cut down its carbon footprint. This is in the light of commitments made under United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, the UNFCCC, and therefore it refers to how countries are committed to go green. And B is absolutely the valid answer here. Done with the questions, let's quickly come to the fact of the day. Which interesting fact are we going to talk about? Now, yesterday, the news said that the government of India, in fact in the state of Kerala, is trying to announce a new scheme for the healthcare of tribal population. Because of this, it becomes very relevant to understand that what exactly has the government been doing under the aegis of Ministry of Tribal Development to promote overall well-being of Indian tribal population, which is majorly concentrated either in the northeast or in the eastern parts of India, the southeast parts of India, some in Lakshadweep, in the coastal areas of Kerala as well. Talking about tribals, the Union Ministry of Minority Affairs has been working hard to promote an initiative that is often called as Hunar Haat. Now, this is a Hindi word which translates into talent markets or talent hubs. You might have seen how, as India was hosting international conventions, G20, right outside where the leaders of various countries came, the Indian government had invited various tribal community leaders, various communities from minorities to come and showcase their unique handicrafts and other manufactured products. The purpose was to promote not only the rich cultural heritage of India, but also to promote the idea of Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-dependent India. And in this regard, talent market is a critical initiative taken by the Ministry of Minority Affairs. Under this initiative, the government decided to provide employment opportunities to more than 750,000 artisans, manufacturers, handicraft makers and self-employed craftsmen of Indian tribes. What was done here? Under this initiative, every year in one city of India, Hunar Haat, or the talent market, was launched physically, where people from all over the country could come and not only buy the products made by tribals and minorities. Also, it means that the culture of tribe and minorities would get majorly propagated among other states and other places of India. It was about popularizing their unique culture. So therefore, the government decided to create Amrit Mahotsav parks. These are dedicated areas that were made on such Waqf territories, such Waqf lands which were being unutilized. And the initiative was known as Pradhan Mantri Jan Vikas Karyakram, which stands for PM Forest Development Initiative and PM Public Development Initiative. So why am I saying forest? Is because genuinely Definitely these people are coming from minorities, but also a lot of tribal minorities were given representation here. So it was a platform for both of them. And here, handicrafts and traditional products, whether it be food items or whether it be commercial products, were actually displayed by the minority communities. Now we know that Indian minorities, whether you talk about the state of Rajasthan, Gujarat, now in Gujarat we have a place called Ajrakpur, which is splendid area. It's known for its unique textile. We know that India has a rich textile culture, say from Ajrak to Ikkat, from Bandhani to Kalamkari of Andhra. Various states of the country boast of unique textile work. And in this regard, it's minorities who often contribute to this rich textile industry. Also, Rogan art, which is on the verge of dying now, is undertaken by many minority communities today. So the purpose here was that these minorities, the people who are doing this work, will be given training, and they will also be provided with some digital aid so that they can improve their output. They can make it more sophisticated and safe. After that, the government initiated a plan called Ustad. Ustad refers to upgrading the skills and training in traditional arts and crafts for development. So these people, once they got trained, not only could they receive a better output, the government then resorted to online marketing of their products, plus physically creating the Hunar Haats every year in many cities across India, so that these people can directly negotiate with customers, and it would lead not only commercial confidence building in them, but also it would make people aware about the rich work that they are doing right now. So they will earn income, and they will also improve their skill. So a very good initiative for livelihood generation among minorities as well as skill upgradation. So these Haats, as I said, provide market exposure to minorities. Sometimes even culinary experts from minority communities come and they display their skills. So there's a reason why today there's a huge global market for not only Indian, minority traditional arts and crafts, also tribal arts and crafts. A very good example could be Odisha, where majority of India's particularly vulnerable tribal groups live. But the art and the handicrafts made here have a huge global demand. So on that note, we end today's session. I hope you were benefited by the session and you will subscribe to the channel if not already. With this, I take your leave. See you soon. Thank you so much to all of you.